It's me, again. I've been wanting to make this video for I don't know how long, I think since middle of last month. I made a post about it on the 16th, and it's the kind of thing that's been bothering me for at least a few years now, and I didn't really have the words for it. So, yeah, the thing that I'm getting into is about how communication is key. People always say that if there's something wrong in your relationship, that it's because of a lack of communication. That is not always the case. And the fact that people always say that this is the one thing that has to change, it's not. And it kind of puts blame where there shouldn't be blame. So, and in some situations, I'm not saying that this is true for all situations. Communication can be a good thing, but it's not always the key to fixing things in a relationship. This doesn't just mean like a romantic relationship or a marriage or whatever. This can be between friends. This can be between siblings, or any sort of interpersonal or group relationship. So yeah, it like I said, it makes me mad that people think communication is key for 100% of cases where something is happening in their relationship that they don't like. They think that there's not enough communication or there's not the right communication. And I used to be like that too. I used to think we're not communicating properly, or we don't have enough communication. But then I thought about it, and you can communicate all you want, as frequently as you want, as frequently as possible, and as clearly as possible to a person. And it won't do anything for your relationship if they don't comprehend what you're saying, or if they don't understand you, or if they don't care. You can communicate and talk and come from all these different points of view, but it won't do anything if they don't understand. Like, you have to have somebody who comprehends and understands and cares about what you're saying in order for the communication to work. A lot of the time these days, people only listen or read messages, I guess, if you're on Facebook or texting or whatever other stuff people use. I just use Facebook and texting. Like, I'm not like, by the way, it's super smoky outside, and I have the door open so I can hear the washer and dryer. So, yeah. But most people only listen to other people so that they can give this response. And a lot of the time, they wait up for the person to be finished talking to give this, okay, sort of response. And when you stop talking to them because they clearly aren't listening to comprehend or understand, or they don't care, when you realize that and you stop talking to them, they get mad because they feel like you're hurting their feelings, when the reality is you've been neglected. These same people that get mad at you because you avoided them because they're neglecting you with their little tiny responses, they always tend to be these people who go on social media and vague post about it and get all these people who are out of the loop, who don't know anything about your communication with them, to agree with them that communication is key to a good relationship and that you're ruining it by not talking to them anymore. And this is bizarrely common. Like, it's so weird. It's so shady too that these people are like, I can't believe so-and-so stopped talking to me. This relationship will be so much better if we had better communication. When the reality is they don't care. They don't care, and they don't understand what you're trying to say. They're just waiting for you to be done talking, or waiting for you to be done messaging so they can send you a K or a all right, sure. It's bizarre, and I know that you guys, whoever's watching this, is thinking of a person who does this to you, who just waits for you to be done, and then when you stop talking to them, they get super offended, and they make these vague posts about how communication is key, and you know they're about you, because who else would it be about? And I'm not saying that avoiding your friends or ghosting your friends is a good thing, or you're romantic partners, if you have multiples, or your single romantic partner, or your spouse, or whoever. I'm not saying that ghosting these people is a good thing, but I'm not saying that you owe them an explanation if you do it. If you want to explain why you ghosted somebody, it's up to you. But sometimes these people who neglect you or abuse you, they need to be cut off without explanation. And they'll vague post and they'll talk trash about how mean you were for not being upfront with them about how you felt. But you communicated the best way that you could, and that's what the person demanded from you. You don't owe them anything anymore. Let them be mad. Ultimately, I think the key to a good relationship is comprehension. A change of attitude towards that other person won't hurt either. Like, if you think somebody has started cutting communication with you for a reason that you don't understand, it's probably best to change your own attitude instead of assuming the person avoiding you is in the wrong. Like, check yourself. It's not hard. And don't assume you're owed somebody else's time, because you're not. You are not owed somebody else's time. And nobody is owed your time either. I mean, that's just not how life is. Nobody is owed a thing, unfortunately. And if self-reflection and your change of attitude towards a person moving further away from you doesn't change things between you and that other person or persons, don't push it. Forcing communication out of somebody it's just not the way. And of course, never, ever guilt trip somebody into communicating with you. Just don't be garbage. Don't guilt trip or force anybody into communicating with you. Just don't do it. That's messed up. And this especially applies if you're expecting communication from somebody with a mental illness like depression or anxiety, and you're blaming their mental illness on their lack of filling your communication quota. Do not be this person. There is nothing mature about demanding communication from somebody with social anxiety. And if you're one of those pleasant, fun people who does manage to forcibly extract communication from a mentally ill person, you need to know that you just committed abuse. It's just so easy not to be abusive. It's so easy to not abuse people, especially mentally ill people. Like, it's so easy, don't do it. And here's a disclaimer. If openness between you and whoever was agreed on and then broken, sure, your anger is justified in that case, that you had no communication. But you should never, ever demand communication from somebody. That's abuse. And telling other people to grow up when they avoid you is also abuse. You should never treat people like that. Like, it's so easy to not hurt other people. And yes, that I get it. Like I said earlier, I get it. That for some people, spoken and written communication is key to a good relationship. For some people it is. But to apply it universally is just not right. And putting it on a pedestal above all other aspects of a relationship can be dangerous and make you look like a beehole. So always consider the option of self-reflection if the communication between you and another person or group is faltering. Don't ever automatically put blame on someone because they have stopped communicating with you. There doesn't need to be blame, and there doesn't need to be throwing insults, and there doesn't need to be telling someone that they're immature, and there doesn't need to be forcibly extracting communication from other people. There just doesn't need to be this stuff. And there doesn't need to be this widespread just ideal that communication is the best and the only way to fix a relationship that's falling apart, because it's not. And it's just so easy to check yourself and to reflect and to maybe consider what you've done as well. And I don't know, it's just so easy to be a good person. And that's really all that I wanted to say. Hope you all are not sick. I hope everyone that's in California is safe because of all the fires. Like I said, it's freaking smoky out there. And yeah, I hope everyone's well, and I hope everyone's safe, and I hope everyone has a healthy relationship with who they value in life.